Good evening, and welcome once again to the Variable Y Minute. And I'm your host, the Variable Y. And tonight we're going to get into some more football talk. We got a couple of guys who just accepted head coaching positions. We already had Ron Rivera accept in Washington. We've got Matt Rule, the former head coach of Baylor, who is now the head coach of Carolina. And we got our yeah, I don't know his name, who just accepted the job with the New York Giants, apparently special teams coach from the Patriots, who just accepted a job with the Giants. Now, I will say I've heard some people say, probably the most organized coach on a who on a team in the coaching staff, besides the head coach, is probably the special teams coach. The coordinator is probably one of the better guys to get head coaching jobs. And the last guy we saw be really successful at it is John Harbaugh. And I think John Harbaugh is probably one of the better coaches in the league. So I think this may be a great hire. And of course, he came from New England. So, that could only go one of two ways. He could either be just like every other New England coach and be really bad, or he could be the answer to this riddle that we have out there and he can actually be very good. So I think that only leaves the Cleveland opening that's still out there. So so that gets us moved on to one of the coaching hires that actually happened over the week. Well, I guess it happened yesterday. And apparently he slept over the owner's house over the weekend and the owner just wouldn't let him go. And I'm doing this as a special shout out to my brother, who is a die-hard Cowboys fan. And when I say die-hard, I mean he's died very hard because this team has not reached the conference finals since 1995. And yeah, he has died along with this franchise the entire time. And it looks like they hired former Green Bay coach Mike McCarthy. Now, there has been some mixed reception to him getting the job. A lot of people seem to remember how he left Green Bay, and a lot of people are putting a lot of the blame on him, saying, hey, man, you couldn't win with Aaron Rodgers. My goodness, it seems like we should all be able to win with Aaron Rodgers. You must be a horrible coach. Well, okay, that's something, I guess. But last I checked, Aaron Rodgers was still on that team. So it wasn't like Mike McCarthy is calling plays and Aaron Rodgers sitting back saying, well, I really would throw this ball, but coach is telling me not to do it. I think you all have seen enough of Aaron Rodgers, like I have seen enough of Aaron Rodgers, to know good and damn well that if he wants to make a play, if he wants to call an audible and disregard what the head coach says, he's going to call an audible and disregard what the head coach says. So it seems like McCarthy has taken a lot of heat in the last year over what's happened between him and Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay. Now, granted, I thought his time was up. I thought that his offense did not look all that inventive and all that special in maybe the last 5 or so years after we all saw that Aaron Rodgers was really the truth. And we saw, okay, well, he's otherworldly. We didn't really see that there was a lot different that was done with the offense. Now, granted, we all have to remember that Green Bay traditionally is not a team that really hires a lot of free agents. So they haven't really gone out there and got a lot of weapons for them. And you can see it right now. You can see it in their receiving game. You can see it that Green Bay almost has no receivers whatsoever. They have Devontae Adams, and when he got hurt, they pretty much had nobody. Marquez Valdez-Scantling, a couple of other guys, and they're okay. Like I'm not saying they're not good, but I'm also saying that they're not like perennial all pros, guys that you can just throw the ball up to them and they'll be there and they'll make a play when you need them to make a play. At least not right now. But a lot of those dudes are young, so I'm not dogging those guys out at all. And that's really not my point. My point is that I think that McCarthy has taken a lot of heat for what he couldn't do the last few years with Aaron Rodgers. And I think we need to Honestly, I think we need to give him a chance. Give him a chance to show what he can do. He's got a pretty young team in Dallas. Apparently, they've got all this talent, and apparently, he's been taking a lot of notes and seeing how he can make himself a better coach. So, honestly, shout out to you, big brother. I think that your team actually made a pretty good hire. You made a hire of a guy who has proven that he can coach in this league. You made a hire of a guy who's proven that he can win a lot of games. He's got an over he's 500 500 or 50 games over 500. Excuse me. And you made a hire of a guy who brings instant legitimacy to your team because honestly, the guy you had in there for 10 years, he didn't. So I think you did pretty good. So we'll see. And hopefully for me, so I can keep laughing at you, they won't win anything, but hopefully for you, they will, sir. And that's gonna be it for tonight, guys. Just doing a little bit of coaching carousel tonight. And tomorrow's Wednesday night, so we'll probably have some NBA action, which will be fantastic. But until then, I'm the Variable Y. I thank you guys so much for joining me tonight. If you want to join me some more, please subscribe to the Variable Y Minute on YouTube, or you can catch me on Instagram at just Variable Y. Or if you want to drop me a tweet, then hit me up on Twitter at the Variable. Thank you again, guys. Be safe. Have a great night.